right, everybody, welcome and good morning to my webinar for, how to maximize your lead flow with PPC and Google Ads. PPC more like Facebook ads, but um, super important webinar today. We're going to go through a lot of what's the latest. The last time I did this one was September, and actually a lot has changed, especially with setting up Google campaigns and Facebook campaigns. Want to make sure everything kind of gets dialed in and modified and updated. And you guys have the most recent information as we go because things change. Things are changing very, very rapidly, much more rapidly than I'm used to. So we're going to try to revamp these webinars pretty frequently, especially when it comes to running ad campaigns. You're spending a lot of money to run these campaigns, and you really want to see results. And this is really what it's all about. Is like, where are the results? Let's make sure it's working. Let's make sure it's optimized, and let's make sure that we're maximizing what we can do to, when it comes to Google Ads and pay per click. So there is a workbook for this, and actually we're not gonna pull this up today, but there's a lot of really great stuff in here, a lot of great checklists for you to go through and understand the five biggest mistakes. Understand some of the questions that you might want to ask your current provider of Google Ad campaigns or pay per click to make sure that everything is dialed in the way they should be, and you guys are tracking proper ROI using the right kind of tracking mechanisms. So feel free to download that workbook. There's no gate or anything like that. So what we're going to cover today: why paid marketing is key, unlimited scalability in terms of lead flow for your generator business, how much money should be allocated for paid ads, the paid marketing strategies that are working best for generator dealers across the United States. So we're doing it for a lot of dealers from East to West Coast and everything in between. I'm going to show you some live examples of paid marketing campaigns and how to set up and structure your pay-per-click marketing campaigns for minimum cost per lead and maximum return on your investment. And I'll give you some KPIs and things to look for when developing these campaigns and running them. And of course, utilizing your Generac co-op. So a lot of us are leaving money on the table at the end of the year, and we want to make sure that we have the proper strategy that is going to exhaust those funds by the end of the year, rather than one big, huge postcard dump in December trying to utilize all of your co-ops. So we got a great tool for you to show you that you can use to help you strategize your burn on those funds. So got a few random clicks here. That's not working. Okay, so who am I? Why should you listen to me? I'm not an electrician. I'm a marketer by trade. I'm actually a graphic artist by trade and then marketer second. I have 18 years plus experience in internet marketing. I've worked directly with more than 75 dealers across the country since 2014. I've spoken at mastermind cohort events and successful electrical contractor and dealer associations like NEGDA. They actually have. I'm going to be actually speaking at the NEGDA event next week in Boston live. So hopefully, maybe some of you guys are going to be going to that. That's the new National Emergency Generator Dealer Association. If you're not familiar, great association. Sign up with that. They do a lot of great value for their dealers. I'm the author of Digital Marketing for Generator Dealers. That book is a year old now, and it's still very, very relevant. So a lot of those tactics are still everything that we implement on a daily, weekly, monthly basis for our dealers. So, and that book is free. You can go to my website, sign up for the book, and we'll ship it out to you. I've also created the Powering Success podcast. You can check that out anytime. I sometimes co-host that with my wife, Danielle, and we interview dealer owners. We talk about their history, how about their successes, and what they've done for marketing, things like that. And I've also been selected as a guest webinar speaker for software called CommuSoft. That's it for me. We go to the Generac conference every year. We were just there in Vegas this past January. We met with all of our dealers, all of our clients. Had a really great night. That's all of us there at the bar in Vegas. So let's get started. Or this is just the wrong slide. It's inserted in the wrong place. Okay, so this is my executive team. Our mission and our goal is to help 100 generator dealers double or maybe triple their revenue in the course of the next 3 or 4 years. We do everything from custom web design to website SEO and local marketing and pay-per-click, Google campaigns, postcard campaigns, automation, AI integration, systems integrations, everything from the nuts and bolts of everything that you need digital marketing wise. That's what we do day in and day out, strictly and exclusively for generator dealers. We don't have any ties to any of these companies, but we have the knowledge of all of their co-op opportunities, and we have the knowledge of these brands. So we're able to write content, create graphics, get things approved, and move things along very quickly for each of these guys that we've worked with for the last, I guess, decade or so. Everything that I'm going to show you is not based on theory. It's based on actual real work with generator dealers like yourselves across the country. We have 30 dealers. Actually, we're up to 33 dealers across 19 or 20 states, and working with some for more than 10 years. So going strong. So before we get into actual pay-per-clicks, I just want to zoom out a little bit and kind of show you the big picture. And, because it's not just about running ads. When you stop paying money in ads, you stop getting leads, you stop getting those kind of deals, and you're kind of left with nothing. So it's important to understand a full digital scope. We want to, on a regular basis, the whole point is to just drive leads, right? And then you want to maximize the conversion of those leads, and then you want to optimize your results to make sure that you know what's working and where it's working. So when we're driving leads, we do it with our website and the Google Business Profile, and now AI. This is where the search engine optimization is coming into very strong play. 70 to 80% of lead flow right here, organic SEO. And then we're driving leads with paid search. Google Ads, Facebook pay-per-click, maybe Nextdoor, maybe into Yelp. And then we kind of back out from there. And then your database, working with your existing database of customers or leads that never closed. Very important to try to build your brand with these leads in your existing database. This is typically the one thing that is not fully utilized, because it's just a database of emails, and sometimes it's a mess, sometimes it's on a spreadsheet, sometimes it's just in different places, you just don't have access to it. But there's a little bit of a gold mine in that database, and it's important that you farm that. And then when we're maximizing conversion, we're making sure that the website is properly dialed in. Looks great, feels reliable, it's ranking, it's got a lot of underlying SEO structure. Your reputation is paramount. You're getting 5-star Google reviews on your Google Business Profile. You're showing your reviews on your website, and you're using those reviews to close the deals and convert the leads that come into your website. And you've got automation in place. So if you don't have a salesperson that is hitting those leads within 5 minutes, you have to have automation in place to kind of reach out, do that automatic reach out. Hey, somebody will get in touch with you within the next half hour or so. That's the worst case scenario. You want somebody to be able to book that appointment within 5 minutes of that lead coming in, whether it's a phone call or a web lead or a chat lead or whatever it be. And then estimate follow-up. Have automation in place to follow up on your estimates that go out. Try not to leave estimates on the table. You do all that work to go out and survey the house, prepare an estimate, propose that to the customer, and you should not let it sit. Even if the customer's not ready, you should still be hitting them with a follow-up every single month until maybe they finally are. It's all about timing when it comes to that. And then optimizing results, look at your total spend. Know what you're spending on a monthly basis. Know what your return is, right? Know what your average cost per lead is in all of these different channels. Have a little return on investment dashboard in place so that you can look at this on a weekly, monthly basis, right? So what you measure will improve. I believe that. So don't just throw the money out there, run your ads, and just hope the leads come in and just work the business and work the clients. And don't look at these net metrics and these numbers. Super important to dial in on all of that. Okay. So, and this is just everything just relayed out in a different format. But what we're talking about today is one piece of it. So we're going to talk about paid ads and get into all of that right now. So why should this be part of your internet marketing strategy? I'm sure that everybody here is running ads, or they know that they need to run ads, They either don't know how to run ads or they're not getting the return that they need. Or maybe it worked before, it doesn't work now. So we're going to get into that. But one of the biggest pieces of why you should have paid ads running is because you can start showing up quickly, especially if there's a storm or a pending storm or something like that. You have your ads, you can dial them up at any time so that when search volume comes in, you start getting found as a result. Show up as often as possible when customers are looking. Create urgency, remind people in the area, and you can show up for non-geo-modified terms like electrician or things like that. So your ads would show up for non-relevant searches as well. Unlimited scalability, yeah. So like I said, you can pull back your budget, and then when something happens, you can ramp up your budget so you can actually flex the lead flow yourself. Now, before I like to talk about our foundation first, like this is like a little tower of what we need to do before we roll in ads. First thing you have to do is have a website in place. The website has to have all the conversion tactics. It's got to have your reviews. It's got to have your phone number. It's got to have, that quick 2-second smell test, what you do, where you do it, right there on the top of the site. And I do a whole other webinar for how to optimize your website for conversion. So I actually just did that, I think 2 months ago. You can check that out on YouTube. But this is the first thing that is the most important thing to do because this helps your Google ad campaign. So this improves your quality score. If your website is not really dialed in, or you don't have a great landing page for your ads, and your website is it's like, okay, let's just run the ads and just link it to the homepage, you're going to end up spending a lot more money than the dealers that have this all dialed in, because the quality score of the ads, Google knows where you're sending their traffic, right? Google will look at your ads, it will look at the landing page, it will look at your entire website and your flow to make sure that you're a good quality result for anyone clicking on your ads. If the website's not great, your ads are going to cost more. They're going to put you in a different tier for ad management. So make sure that you've got all of that dialed in. And then after your foundation is in place and your SEO is built up, then you can layer in your paid search, your Facebook ads, YouTube ads if you've got video. But these are probably the most efficient campaigns to run. Facebook ads, you might have bad experience with it. It works part of the year, doesn't work other parts of the year. I'll get into that a little bit. But Google probably good to have turned on all the time, whether you're running a small $25 a month budget or $25 a day budget or $100 a day budget. Important to have them running and learning so Google understands what's happening with your business, so that you do have that dial. You can't turn the ad campaigns off and then all of a sudden turn them on and expect them to work. After that, before you get into anything else, make sure that you've got retargeting automation in place, making sure that visitors to your site are being retargeted. So they hit your site, we drop the pixel, they go back to Facebook or social media, and then they start seeing your ads. These are not expensive ads to run because the target is so small. You're not targeting millions of people. You're targeting only the people that visit your website. I've seen, we've got customers that have 500, 600 visits a month. This isn't expensive to do that. Just has to be set up properly so that you can retarget and then get them back to your website when they're finally ready. Once these 3 are in place, then you can layer in Angie's List and Home Advisor, things like that, the pay per leads. And then you can start looking at branding offline, direct mail, radio, TV sponsors, TikTok, and all that other stuff. But probably not really needed unless you really wanted to build your brand. If you had maybe a multi-state company, something like that, you can start getting into that. So that's your order of operations. Like I said, this workbook is very helpful, so download that. And let's get started and talk about Google Ads. Yeah, this is like fun little animations here. Okay, so our biggest Google ad mistakes. I got 5 big ones for you. If you're running the campaigns yourself, you'll probably notice these, or you may not notice these. So important that you kind of check down on these things. Sometimes Google likes to sneak in little new services and kind of auto default them on for you because they think it's great. But in most cases it's not. So mistake number one, not sure if you could see that. Probably not. I can't see it. So I'm going to read it to you. But these five biggest mistakes are in that workbook. Um, this says letting Google build your campaigns. Don't do that. So when you first set up the account, Google is going to take you through an automatic campaign builder. You kind of have to go through that in order to get into the system and start building a campaign. So when you first set up the account, let it do the automatic campaign builder and go all the way through the prompts. You're going to set up your credit card, you're going to set up your payment methods, um, and you're going to choose keywords and upload your logo, things like that. Once you're into the system, pause the campaign. And then you can create your own custom campaign, go through all of the fields that are on there and do it manually. Smart campaigns, they give you zero visibility into search terms, no control over bidding, and there's no ability to add negatives. And they capitalize on brand terms you get organically anyway, and they attract spam leads. So we don't want to don't let Google run your own campaigns. Our second mistake is using the wrong match types. So now phrase match in 2026 behaves more like broad match used to, and exact match behaves more like phrase match used to. And I will get into what these type of match types are in a little bit, so you can understand a little bit more about that and negative keywords in case you don't have a full understanding of that. Third mistake is sending traffic to the wrong page and writing strong ad copy. So if you run a generator service or maintenance campaign with Google, and if this is your primary campaign, you do not want to send the ad campaign to the homepage. Your homepage is going to be more about your company, more about generator installs, and then you have to kind of click around and look for your service, go through the contact page or something like that. But if you've got packages and a page that you link directly from the ad to the landing page that shows you all of your service packages, what you do for the service, maybe how much it costs. That will improve the quality score on the ads, will get you more relevant clicks, and will certainly optimize the money that you're spending for those ad campaigns. Our fourth mistake is ignoring the settings that matter. So turn off search partners and display network expansion. We only want to do ads for search. Both of those are opted in by default, and both drive low quality traffic. This is like display network expansion is kind of like running Facebook ads, but much more expensive. It's going to end up bringing you a lot of spam, all this other nonsense. So when we get into it, I'm going to talk about doing how to do display ads only. And then fifth mistake, using the wrong bidding strategy. So start on manual cost per click so your cost per clicks don't spiral while your account is learning. So if you set your cost per click at like $5 or $8 per click for generator installs, we're looking at between $10 and $15 per click. But if you manually set it for between $5 and $8, you can let the account learn, you let the campaign learn, give that a week or two for everything to learn. And then once you're consistently getting 15 or 20 plus conversions, maybe 10, maybe 5 to 10 conversions, you can switch it to a max conversions bid strategy. But I would just make sure that you watch it carefully, because you don't want nonsensical clicks for those ads, because they could absorb a lot of your cost. If you're set for $20 a day and the average cost per click is $15, you're only going to get one click a day, if the search volume is there. And one click doesn't necessarily mean one lead. So just something to expect with Google Ads. Somewhere between 5 and 20x ROI on pay-per-click ad spend, and with these certain caveats in place. I know that's a big range between 5x and 20x, but when we looked at these numbers the other day between all the clients that we have across the country, we are seeing this range of a return on ad spend from Google. It depends on the location, it depends on your competition, it depends on your market and the amount of volume, the search volume that's in place. So let's say, for example, Houston, Texas, you're on the lower end of return on investment. There is so much competition in Houston, Texas. And you're also competing with Generac with monstrous monthly ad spend budgets, and Kohler with ad spend budgets, and all these other manufacturers and the bigger guys, Generator Supercenter, that runs ad campaigns for all of their dealers across the country in different areas. And then 20x ROI in more compressed areas, like more condensed areas up in New Jersey or down in Louisiana. Those are a higher return on investment. So this is just some things to look forward to when you're starting to really dive into this. Now, when I say with caveats, now you're going to really optimize the return on investment if all of this is taken care of. If your website landing page is built to convert, okay, you have Google reviews on the page, you have your finance options on the page, team photos are on the page, you've got a promotion that you're running with only the ad campaign on that page, making that page the best possible result for that click. You have speed to lead in place. You're answering the calls. You're following up with leads that come in within 5 minutes. You have some automation in place if that doesn't exist, but automation with follow-up is super important. And you're tracking and closing the loop on the ads, on the leads that come in. Having this in place will result in a higher ROI 100% of the time. So first thing, you don't even think about spending another penny until you have conversion tracking in place. I can't tell you how many times we talk with a new client or a new dealer who we say, so what is your current company doing for you? And they say, well, they're running Google Ads for us. Okay, great. How much are you spending and what's it returning? They have no idea. So 50% of my marketing is working. I just don't know which 50%. It's not good enough. So having tracking in place is paramount. There's some conversion tracking essentials. So dynamic number swapping. So you can use an account called CallRail. That's what we use. And you basically create a local phone number with your account and put some code on your website that will automatically swap the phone number that exists on your website with the new tracking number that CallRail gave you. This is dynamic number swapping so that when somebody is on the Google ad campaign, clicking on the ad campaign, seeing that tracked phone number, the calls are recorded so that you can listen to the calls, verify that it's a lead, track that lead all the way to closing, and now you've got a full closed loop on that particular lead and customer. You can use a keyword pool also. That's dynamic number swapping so that you can track phone calls back to the keyword and campaign. So having the keyword pool is just multiple phone numbers that CallRail likes to use so they can track the different keywords. So using multiple phone numbers because there's so much happening in those quick searches that it's too fast for it to track that with one phone number. So CallRail will kind of do that work for you. So all you'd have to do is get the account with CallRail, integrate the code on the website. Web form tracking, again, you have a special web form that gives you the form field, but also shows where the form is being filled out from. So if you've got that same form on your contact page, also on your special landing page just for those ads, and you get a lead, you can see that the submission URL was coming from your ad page. Having that in place, super important. And conversion tracking built into your Google ad campaign too. So which ad group generated the lead? Google will give you that information, and so will having that CallRail phone number dialed in on the account. Okay, number two, and I will get into more detail as we go through, so we're not always backtracking. Set up and structure your Google pay-per-click marketing campaign for minimum cost per lead and maximum ROI, obviously, right? So this is what you want to do is run 3 different campaigns. We're going to do ad groups within each one, but this is also based on what you have to budget. So when it comes to Google Ads, you run a Google search campaign. And then when it comes to Google Performance Max, 3 campaigns: Google Search campaign, Google Performance Max campaign, and then a remarketing campaign. 3 different campaigns running independently with one another. And you have a different budget for each one. And each one of these have a different cost per lead. Google Search campaign, we're spending at least $150 for a quality lead. At least $150. This could go up to $300 for a quality lead with Google Ads. I know it sounds like a lot, but what we're talking about is a $15 click, and a $15,000 revenue turnover. So this is kind of just where the numbers just are. Google Performance Max can end up being $15 or $20 per lead. But again, this is more like a Facebook type of result. Performance Max will this is kind of Google running your own campaign. We are finding that it's working in certain areas, not in all areas. It does work somewhat in the Southeast, in the Northwest, in the Northeast, but we're having trouble getting it to work properly in the Midwest. Not having trouble, but we're not having the success. And then remarketing, having that place is going to cost you somewhere around less than $1 a piece, just because we're targeting people that have already visited your website. So before I move into structuring the campaign, if anybody's any questions, just drop it in the chat and I will stop. I'll go back. I have no problem showing you anything again. So now structuring your Google ad campaign. Your Google search campaign has to be broken into smaller groups that target various services that you provide so that your text ads match what the person is typing. So when the person is looking for service, or they're looking for a repair, or they're looking for a new dealer, a new installation, then you have to have those ad groups dialed in. So you have one for generator installs, have a separate ad group for the brands, one for Generac, one for Kohler, because people are searching Generac. They don't know that that's like the Kleenex of generators, so they're just going to start Generac. And so you want to make sure that you've got an ad group for Generac and one for Kohler, just in case they have an existing Kohler and they're looking for service, generator service and repair, and then separate one for generator maintenance. Having those different ad groups under that single campaign will help optimize the entire campaign under that single budget. When you have a bigger budget, you can then have multiple campaigns. A separate campaign for generator install, a separate campaign for generator maintenance, and then different ad groups, sub ad groups underneath one of those. But when you're dealing with a smaller budget, just try to have one campaign with one budget. Make sure you have a strong understanding of keyword match types, and don't forget about negative keywords. So what I was saying before with broad match. So broad match is just Google will take Generac generators and kind of make its own AI assumptions based on what that search is. So somebody's searching for whole home Generac for my house, support for my whole house standby, backup power, that kind of thing. Then Generac generators might show. Kohler generators, home standby generators. And then a phrase match is when somebody's actually searching right inside that tight phrase of whole house standby generator. So if somebody searches a whole house generator, whole house standby generator, that's when the phrase match kind of comes in into play. And then the exact match is exactly what it is. We want to track, or we want your ads to show when people search generator installation, generator maintenance, generator service, or generator repair. So negative keywords, when you finally get this ad campaign running, the campaign is going to start showing your ads for what it thinks it's good, what it thinks is not good. So we want to make sure that you see your ads are popping up for Sportsman 3500 watt generator. You want to make sure it's excluded. Remove that from your campaign, and Google will start learning what you don't want to show for. You don't want to spend money for clicks for that search. So you make sure you hit excluded, and then standby generator install doesn't match any of your matches here, but it's still a good search. So you want to keep that, and just keep that in your system. So that's how the keyword matching works. So structuring your Google ad campaign, there used to be this whole thing where you had to create compelling ads for your campaign, and the language needed to be good, the headlines needed to be good. Google's kind of done away with all of that. So now it's more like, what are your headlines? What are your descriptions? We use the same for just about everybody, because Google is going to take these headlines, mix them with the descriptions. It's going to do its own beta testing. It's going to use the best ones that work on a constant basis, constantly A/B testing the mixture of headlines and descriptions. Now, we could get a little bit more advanced, and we can insert some variables in here. So when people are searching generator, Generac, red light on Generac, you can insert that keyword search into the headline or the description. This kind of makes the ad a little bit more relevant and they'll see that, they'll click it, go back to your website, hoping to get the answer. Instead, they get your phone number, your chat, your help information, your FAQs, that kind of thing, and then call you for the response. So you can get those into there too. You can also pull in the location from where the person is searching from. So I'm in Pompton Plains, New Jersey. If I do a quick search for generator installation, it's going to say Pompton Plains, New Jersey, generator installation dealer. So you can insert those variables to help the campaign's relevance, just making sure that those landing pages are properly built. Remarketing, again, this is, in case you don't know what remarketing is, I'm sure everybody knows what that is. That's the creepy ads that kind of creep up on you whenever you're not looking, but it's something you're interested in. You don't know how it knows. When they hit your website, we drop a pixel, they go back to social media. Because you have visited that website, we start to show your ads specifically to that person that currently has a pixel on their computer that matches your company. So this is how remarketing works. But the reason why it's effective is because they visit your website, they leave, they see your ad on social media, they go back to your website, they leave, see your ad on social media, they go back. So it will try to keep it running for about 2 or 3 weeks or so. Have to have that in place. If you're running ad campaigns, you have to have remarketing in place, because they're going to click on your ad and you're going to see 1,000 clicks on your ad campaigns or 500 clicks on your ad campaigns, and you're only going to get 3 to 10 leads, and you're going to wonder why. Sometimes there's no reason. Sometimes there's no rhyme or reason for why they're not calling you, why they're not filling out the forms. Are they interested? Are they not? Maybe. But by not having remarketing in place, you are absolutely losing that person as a prospect. So have it in place and make sure that you're kind of reminding them, hey, you were on our website, and let's make sure that you're interested in a generator. Here's a Generac. Here's a Kohler. Here's what we do, who we are. Okay. Most important KPIs, your total spend, how much money you're spending on a monthly basis, your average cost per click, which, like I said, that could be anywhere between $8 and $15 for a single click. Your average cost per lead, which, like I said before, with Google Ads, it could be anywhere between $150 and $300, depending on how good that campaign is dialed in. If it's not dialed in that good, you might see more leads, but it'll be more spam. It'll be more irrelevant. It'll be more 3,500 kilowatt craftsmen's. Those are the leads that you'll get. So yeah, generator installs. This is a little low on the 100, but between 100 $250. Repairs and maintenance between 85 and 150 for leads, and installations replacements between 100 and $200. Electrical. We do a little bit of electrical from ad campaigns. This is a much smaller range, and the reason why is because there's so much more volume of searches going on for electrical services, ceiling fan installations, outlet replacements, rewiring, lighting, stuff like that. There's so much more volume of search, and the volume of search for generator installs isn't that much, and there's so much competition, and this is why we are stuck with these high cost per leads. Your return on investment, tracking those leads all the way to a closed deal, an installed job, money in the bank, is the most important, honestly. And it's best to have a dashboard. Have a dashboard that shows you how many clicks you get, when you get those clicks, the keyword, the clicks on the different keywords, and how the campaigns are doing. Look at your average CPC. This is obviously not a Google ad campaign. The number of clicks that you have, because 952, that means you're targeting 952 people on your remarketing campaign. How many conversions? 23 actual leads that came in. What your total spend is, what your total cost per conversion is, and the number of impressions that your ads are showing. So you're being seen that many times, you're being clicked that many times, and you're getting that many people to come in to actually submit their information. Best to have a dashboard in place where you can track this. There's lots of software out there that does this for you automatically. Google gives you this information too. So if you actually know what you're looking for, the campaign will have this on the Google account in a row, just right there by the campaign and the ad groups themselves. You can even sync this up with Service Titan, CommuSoft, House Call Pro, and you can have leads that come in from ads, tag them as Google Ads, and then at the end of the month, you can have these companies return back to you a list or a report showing you exactly how much revenue you've made from these channels. Okay, before I get into Facebook, if there are there any questions? Google Ads are a lot. We will get into what makes them more optimized. I will get into the website, the SEO, the conversion, things like that. We're almost about 40 minutes in, and I think Facebook's only going to take about 5. So moving on. Facebook. Why most of these campaigns, Facebook's campaigns fail? Yeah, poor ad copy. This is the one where you kind of have to write the ad copy. So don't use generic or uncompelling ad copy. Talk to your target about their struggles with power loss. Speak specifically about the area that they're in, about the neighborhoods that you're assisting, and talk about the recent outages. Talk about the impending storms. Talk about the general seasons and the things that cause people to want to get a generator in the ad copy. Landing page issues, poor design, slow lead time can lead to lost conversions. So again, just like the Google campaigns, make sure you've got a specific landing page for the Facebook ad campaign, and then it also helps you track. And poor budgeting, too much money and not enough, and not giving the algorithm enough time can actually make it not work. So it's important to have a budget. I want to tell you $50 a day for Facebook is probably the sweet spot with these ad campaigns, and let it run. So once you have the ad campaign running and a $50 a day budget, give it 2 weeks before leads start coming in, and then just let it go. I would say the only instance where you need to adjust the Facebook campaigns or stop it and restart it or make changes is if you have a promotion, the Generac warranty promotion graphic you want to insert into the ad campaign, or if the seasons have changed, or if you have any kind of promotion. Those are the only instances where you need to stop and start the Facebook campaigns, and it will have to relearn all over again. And not tracking the conversions properly, like that's what we've been talking about. We want to make sure we track it, we know what our spend is, and know what it's doing. Structuring the campaign, got some really nice graphics, graphic of your team, picture of the generator, show a few Google reviews. If you're getting it, if you want the Generac logo on there for co-op purposes, we'll get into that. Conversion tracking is a must. Be sure to properly set up your ad campaign, your ad account within your Facebook portfolio. I'm only going to go through that real fast for anybody that doesn't understand the portfolio system. Be sure to create the campaigns for leads. Write compelling ad copy. Use simple targeting, like a 40-mile radius is fine, or you can target counties. You need to have a volume of audience. It can't be, we want to say 250,000 people is like your minimum. So you want to be at minimum 250,000. If you just target counties, sometimes you can get that over those numbers, but the ad is completely optimized with 250K and over. Land visitors on the well thought out landing pages that I've been talking about. Ongoing split testing, tweaking, fine tuning. I wouldn't do too much of that. Like I said, stopping and starting kind of restarts the learning process all over again. Okay, so this is your business manager. Hopefully you're familiar with the business manager on Facebook. And then you've got users, and then you have your assets, which is a Facebook page, your ad accounts, pixels, finance, things like that, all within that one umbrella of the business manager. When you build the campaigns, you set your objective as a campaign, and then you have your ad sets. Only need one, and then you have your ads, and Meta will do its own thing. So you almost need one campaign, one ad set, one ad, and Facebook will do its thing with AI, and it will beta test the best ads to use. It will take, you can upload up to 10 images within your ad campaign. Make sure you upload all 10. Just like going back into the headlines and descriptions fields for Google Ads, make sure you utilize all those fields. Create, I think there's 15 headlines and there's 5 descriptions. Fill them in. Don't just use 2 or 3. Fill them in. The more you give it, the more it will learn. The more it will optimize those campaigns. Same thing with Facebook. One set of ad copy and 10 images to use with that ad copy. The images are the scroll stoppers. That's when people are just scrolling through. You want to give them an image where they'll stop. A lot of the times it's a generator. It's like we know what a generator looks like. They'll find the generator and they'll stop. Picture of your team, maybe not, but if the picture of the team is, pretty cool, it's kind of a scroll stopper, right? We think that's a good graphic for an ad, for a Facebook ad. But we also have this company running ads. That same campaign has images of just generators, so you want to also have those in place too. Your campaign is generator installs. Your ad set is remarketing, and then your team, and then an ad for your team, your social proof, your installations, and then an ad set for prospecting. That's actually one thing that I forgot to mention in the other ad set was remarketing. So one of those ads is remarketing, pictures of your team, social proof, installations, and then prospecting where you show your installations, your 10 images. And then your campaign is generator service. If you want to get into a separate campaign for service, do the same thing, remarketing and prospecting. Okay. So getting into Facebook dashboard, same kind of thing. There's plenty of software out there. Same KPIs. You want to know your total spend, your average cost per click, your average cost per lead, and your return on investment. So a total spend, I don't see it. Cost per conversion is 30, and we have 54 conversions. It's about $1,500. So a total spend of $1,500. We have 54 conversions. A cost per lead. This is a cost per conversion. Cost per lead is $30. 2,200 people are now being retargeted. 76,000 impressions, and 70 cents cost per click. An ROI here probably 5%, 5x. Sorry, a 5% conversion rate is kind of what we're seeing with Facebook ads. It's pretty low, but again, with Facebook, it's different during the different seasons. When there's more interest, you're going to get more relevant leads. We've seen it anywhere between 5% conversion and 60% conversion coming in from Facebook for a very short period of time. It's like all of a sudden the ad campaign will just do great and bring in a lot of leads. So Facebook's another one that you want to just kind of have running, whether you have a $25 a day budget or a $50 a day budget. Sweet spot, $100 a day budget max. You can overspend on Facebook, which will kind of deteriorate your ads. I wouldn't go beyond $100 a day. If it's doing really well, at $50 a day, don't touch it. If it's doing okay for 50, then you can up it incrementally, 60, 70, $80 a day, and see how it's returning. But like I said, don't do anything unless you've got it all tracked. Okay. Questions on ads? Because I'm going to get into a little bit. I got about 10 minutes, and I'm going to get into how to design these pages, some things to make sure that your website has when you're running these campaigns so they're fully optimized. Everybody clear on how to set up ads and where to set up, when to run the ads. Still no chat, so I'm guessing this is all good. Okay, I'm moving on. If anybody wants me to go back, just shoot it in the chat. Okay. So landing pages on a solid, well thought out page on your website that are built to convert. One of the more recent ones, and this is, hopefully you can see it, but we've got a landing page. Once you come to the website, you see the generators, you see the form, you see the promotion, and there's social proof on here, Google reviews, the smell test, standby generator maintenance special. This is a maintenance campaign landing page. So, and then when we're over here on the cell phone, on the mobile, making sure that the important stuff's at top and you still see that conversion form on the top of the fold. We want people to know that they can reach out. The phone number is in the menu. This is another important tactic. Phone number is up here in the menu. People don't like to look around for that stuff. And the only other thing that's missing from these screenshots is a chat widget. Okay, so we're integrating AI chat widgets at the moment, so everybody's chat widgets are gone. We get the AI chat widget on there so that people can ask questions. AI can get their information before giving them the answers that they want. in a very special way. So having the chat widget on there, the form, the phone number, giving them all the different ways that they might want to communicate with you is paramount. Here's another one that doesn't have the website's header. This was We're currently beta testing this. We think that when people click on the ads that they might want to browse around the website, so give them the header. Um, there's another one that we're beta testing where we don't give them the header. They really only have one action item, and that's to fill out the form on your website. With Google, this is okay because they're searching specifically for what they're finding. When you're putting the ad in front of them on Facebook, you're kind of disrupting, but they're somewhat interested, so they might want to browse around and look at all the different things that you guys do or offer. Having the promotion right there above the fold, the form again, the phone number, the different, and then the familiar Generac logo, so that they know where they are is exactly what they want to be looking at. And again, above the fold on the mobile. Generac Power Pro Premier adds validity, adds some reliability. It's got the form. We've got the phone number at the top of the site. Everything is all dialed in on these landing pages. And the content too. Reliable backup power from the #1 Generac dealer in New York City and beyond. So we have all the content is in here so that when Facebook and Google are looking at the pages that you're sending them to, they're relevant, they're optimizing your ad campaigns and working well. Now retargeting automation, having that in place. When somebody fills out that form, they get text messages, they get an email almost instantly. Thanks for your information. Someone will reach out to you as soon as possible. And then the customer, even having the customer replying to that, could turn on an AI responder, right? So having automation dialed in or a salesperson dialed in, obviously that's, I think having the human is better than anything, but having automation in place, if you don't have that capability, I know a lot of smaller guys that don't have office people that can respond, things like that. Having the automation in place is going to be key. And here are some of the reasons, right? So leads that are not followed up within 15 minutes go cold. The average customer has to be followed up with 5 to 7 times. You're doing that. Today's consumer prefers to interact via text message versus phone call. So I think you've all experienced that, where people just not really interested in having the phone calls, but they'd rather text or they'd rather use email. I think text messaging is going so much further. Even with the chat widget, we're seeing that more people are using the chat widget because they know that there's no real human on the other side. So they know that they can ask whatever questions that they want without having to be sold, right? And so more people are getting more confident with talking to AI, asking the questions they want. But now what we're doing with AI is making sure that AI knows that what they really need to do is get their email and their phone number before it gives any vital information. So the AI is getting really, really smart, and people are getting more comfortable dealing with it, communicating with it. So having an AI chat widget on your site can help convert 100%. Right? So like automation becomes a workflow. So we get AI to communicate, respond, book the actual service call, or it could just be a soft book where AI says to you, okay, we have this person's interested for Tuesday at 9. This is their phone number, their email. If that works for you, just book it, schedule it. If not, just call them up and change it up. But it gives the person the feeling that, okay, they booked the appointment. They don't need to look any further. They don't need to go to the competition. They found you, they booked, they're good, they've stopped looking. So that's the whole idea, is to stop them from going from one to the next. And AI and automation can help you do that. I have a random slide in here that talks a little bit about social media marketing agencies that are just running ads for their dealers. First thing they're doing is taking $1,000 off the top. Between $1,000 and $2,500 a month is what their cost is to run the campaigns for you. The percentage of ad spend, between 5 and 10% of their spend. That's another fee that they take. If you're spending more than $3,000 or $4,000 a month, they're going to also take another 5 or 10% of your spend. Your hourly rate is between $100 and $150 for graphics, new campaigns, things like that. And your pay per lead plus your setup, $2,000 setup fee, $250 generator install. This becomes a terrible idea. And they have to spend time learning about generators. So this is just something that I think I threw in here because I just wanted you to know that you do not have to succumb to these costs when it comes to an SMMA agency, uh, because it's only one piece of that puzzle. You need the whole digital marketing strategy dialed in for everything to work together. Um, and they have to reach to research your market. So you're going to do a lot of hand holding with these different kind of companies, and they have to experiment to learn. So make sure that you're talking with make sure that your pay-per-click providers, your Google ad providers know what they're doing, know what they're talking about, and you don't have to hold their hand too much, um, when it comes to these kind of ad campaigns. Give me a break. I like that they threw that in there. So and this is in the workbook, some questions to ask your PPC provider. I'm not going to go through all of it because we're now almost an hour. But you'll ask them certain questions to make sure that things are getting dialed in. And this is all in the workbook. How much of my budget goes to Google Ads versus management fees? Know that number, okay? Know that how much you spend versus, because this is going to all play into your cost per lead and will accelerate your cost per lead too. So make sure that you've got all of that checked up, and the rest of these questions. So will you be setting up specific landing pages? Will you be leveraging all the ad extensions? What are the targets in terms of cost per lead? So make sure that they're answering these questions for you, and make sure that they got this all dialed in. The last thing I'm going to talk about is the Generac co-op burn strategy. So if you guys don't have co-op funds, I hope this was still valuable, and I am just going to go through this real quick because some people have a lot of co-op funds. We have a great page here. This is free to use. There's no gate or anything like that. We don't take your information. It's a great calculator that you can use to break down how much money you have in co-op, and then it will break down where you should spend that money. This is what I want to put into Google Ads, what I want to put into Facebook, and then you can kind of massage those numbers until you've reached zero by the end of the year. And then it will break out. This is what you spend on a monthly basis. Really great tool that we use to help all of our clients meet that zero by the December 31st for co-ops funds. Getting your Google Ads approved by Generac 2, we send them this document. This is the Google co-op advertising campaign for this client. These are the ad headlines, right? And then page 2, we show them screenshots of the ads that Google gives us, and we say, hey, Generac, Google uses a blend of AI and algorithms to assemble the ads on the fly using a mix of the headlines, descriptions, and images we provide. And Generac will respond with their approval, probably within just a few days. Making sure that Generac Generator Dealer is in the ad headlines so that your previews show Generac in the preview headlines. This is all that Generac cares, is that their name is in the ads and nobody else's. You can't run a campaign with Kohler or anything like that. That will get you approved. Same thing with Facebook, except we have to show them a screen grab of what the ad campaigns look like on Facebook, what it looks like on Instagram. We give them the location, the demographic, the duration, and a link to the landing page so that if Generac wants to look at it, they can look at the landing page that's there. We give them, this is all the ad copy for that single ad. It just keeps going into the next page. And then we've got 10 images that we run with that ad campaign. We do a few that are just the generators. And these are theirs too, by the way. These are the ones that this company has installed and taken pictures of on site. So we're not using any general one. We want to make sure that they're using their installs. And then we've got some standard ones that we mix the stock photography from Generac with. Some of the bullets, some of the, starting $149 a month with the financing options, some scary ones, and let Facebook kind of figure out which ones are running the best. And we have some of the family shots. Very important to have this stuff. Do a photo shoot. This company did an amazing photo shoot one day. I think it was one day. They had one photographer come out, get a picture of the guys standing together, get a picture of them working in their trucks, get your fleet, all that stuff. Huge for conversion. And then, again, we get a Generac approval. Oh, and when you run this through Generac mod for approval, set it up in terms of the dates, set up the pre-approval for the day that you're doing it and the end of the year, December 31st. And then once you get that approval, you're good. You don't have to do a pre-approval on a new ad or anything like that. because you're going to use the same campaigns, you can use the same ads, and when it comes at the end of every single month, you put the claim through on Generac so that you can exhaust the funds as you have planned. Okay, I'm still seeing people here. This is great. In the chat, anybody has any questions before I close this up? I am going to close it up. What we do is exclusively for generator dealers of all brands, and we work with our clients from on a daily, weekly, monthly basis. If you fill out the acceleration session strategy form on our website, we will do some preliminary research for you. We will schedule a meeting. You will actually have the ability to schedule an appointment with us. We'll show you the opportunities that exist in your market. We'll show you some of the things that you need to change for your website. We'll give you as much value as we can so you can go back, make changes, and hopefully make some changes for, to better your lead flow. And of course, we'll show you our program, show you what we do for our dealers on a regular basis, and work out some kind of a way that maybe we can work together, and hopefully it's a good fit.